Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and with Sentinels SicK live on stream last night, giving some updates and some insights into what is going on exactly right now in the Sentinels camp. The fact that still, despite him being back on stream, he's not going to play the last chance qualifier, and they will need a fifth man as a replacement. Who could that guy be? Is there any world in which the rumoured Stewie2k benching from Evil Geniuses in Counter-Strike could have a part to play? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Videos to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Lots of great support recently, because well, a very interesting time right now in the Valorant world, because of course we've got Masters Copenhagen in just a couple of days time. The last chance qualifier in all the regions is in probably early August sometime, although the location and all these details haven't yet been confirmed. Definitely looking forward to seeing Jing in action here this weekend at PRX, because I mean, yeah, this team is so much fun to watch, and this guy especially, like yeah, some of the plays they make are honestly out of control. Looking forward to them seeing them back in action once again. But of course, yes, it's Masters Copenhagen coming up, starting in just a couple of days on July the 10th. Most of the teams now, I guess all the teams pretty much are out there in attendance, ready to go, getting some scrims in before the tournament began, and Valorant of course, well, doing a pretty good hype up video right here ahead of the tourney. DRX say touchdown in Copenhagen, here they are. Other teams have landed as well. We've got Yay, as he says, we in Copenhagen, EU ranked streams coming soon. Turko's like, duo might have to run it, so right here, yeah, you definitely don't want to come up against Yay and Turko in your ranked queue. That would probably not end particularly well, but yeah, Turko's there. Hopefully, like everything, he actually gets to play this time. That wasn't the case last time around, of course, and a similar story for, well, FNS on the OpTic side, the jet lag ensues. So lots of players touchdown, they're getting ready to go. Another question, of course, that has been around this is the whole FPX side, and whether they'll actually be able to play with their team, as George Getters kind of gives an update to this last night, because the present rumour is that there's a few substitutes, I think 3 substitutes that FPX have lined up from, pretty sure the Danish scene and also like a Polish player, just in case they need them, because that SicK and Shao, Russian players, despite the fact that Trex from Guilds actually was able to attend, like also a Russian player. So rather interesting to me that some Russian players seem to be able to attend, like maybe it depends on the organization or like exactly how they get the visa, or discussions with relevant authorities in their country, but also potentially in Denmark, right, with the tournament organizers. Not really sure, but you know, some players seem to be able to go, some players can't. But the present rumor is that yes, still SicK and Shao will not be able to attend this tournament, but Angel, of course, a Ukrainian player, will be able to attend. So my perspective is, as long as Angel's there, they always have a chance. But you know, without SicK and Shao, they're probably not going to be the force that they could have been this tournament, because they've been such an exciting team to watch on LAN. It's a real shame we can't see their full roster on LAN, because they've been such a monstrous team online. It is a real shame we're not going to be able to see their full strength team, it seems, in a LAN environment. But who knows, they could potentially still do some damage down there on kind of the Group B side of the bracket that they are on. Now, yesterday we talked about rather big news that M3C were looking to part ways with Dephh, and apparently Dephh is going to go to SEN. So kind of crazy the fact that these two teams, M3C, formerly Gambit, and SEN, were kind of dominating the European scene last season for quite some time. Now a very different story with Fnatic dominating the region, FPX just a little bit behind right now. But Dephh currently on M3C, but of course rumoured to be benched, is trialling for SEN. So they're going to continue trials to replace SicK, in which they've also tested out a player called Mako. So I guess we'll see how this one plays out. But yeah, roster changes right now all across the board, especially for teams like SEN and of course M3C that haven't had the success in stage 2 than they would like to. The last chance qualifier, of course, awaits for both of these teams. Sentinels, they're trying their best to find some analysts. Like of course, like the boot camp for them is coming up relatively soon. They're still going through analyst applications. God help us, they say. Like yeah, there's some interesting applications right here. There's no doubt about it. But of course, they do have a coach in Raucus. Like with SicK not returning for the LCQ, the question was Raucus going to sub back in again? They obviously don't want that to be the case. Also, still looking for an analyst, right? So if you guys still want to apply to be Sentinels analyst, drop them an email. I think it's Raucus's email. You guys can find out, I'm sure, on their Twitter account at some point. But yeah, they were certainly getting some responses. They might have a pretty hard time to go through all these applications to find out which analyst they want to bring in. But they're trying to build a more robust coaching staff around their team. But they're going to need an actual proper team if they want to do anything here at the LCQ. And even Zelsis kind of seems to imply that he knows who the 5th man might be from the LCQ, or from the Sentinel squad going into the LCQ, because he says if he gets to 70k Twitter followers, 10k, 5k, I'll leak Sentinels 5 going into the LCQ. So it's going to be, of course, TenZ, ShahZaM, dapr, Kanpeki, and then one more. The one more right now is presently unknown. You guys have been theorizing a lot the last few days on who it could potentially be, and it's still rather tough to say. But I was wondering whether it's possible that SicK actually does return after all, because like there was some talk about, okay, is SicK actually okay? And then last night he came on stream, and I was wondering when I saw the tweets that, okay, is it actually after all that SicK is going to be okay to play? Because the thing is, for Sentinels that are doing a bootcamp, they want to make sure that whoever their 5th man is, they can actually like just be consistent with that roster, right? They can be confident that that roster is going to stay, because SicK with the kind of the family difficulties, and it seems like he's been having difficulties with mental health and struggles like this. So of course we wish him the best for him, but I think if that is the case, Sentinels don't feel confident that like they can be super confident that's going to be their 5-man lineup for the whole of the bootcamp and the LCQ, so they probably decided to say, okay, look, SicK, just take the time off and we'll find someone else. So ShahZaM says this, unexpected the expected, or like unexpect the expected. I don't really know what he's trying to say here, but of course, usually it's expect the unexpected. He just swapped it around the other way. Does this mean that actually we're meant to expect the expected, or we're meant to unexpect the expected? What even is going on anymore? People have been saying Sentinels Android, right, because he got benched on the NRG side, I think, not too long ago, and there was kind of some talk about that, and whether he's a player they're considering, because, I mean, look, there's so many players out there right now. We've talked about the version 1 team, we've talked about the Ghost Gaming team, potentially TSM, Knights or whatever, NRG, players like Android. There's so many players they could be targeting. It's incredibly difficult to say which ones they are actually considering, what roles they need, because if SicK is gone, of course, then, you know, they're going to have to think about a smoke player. What are they going to do there? Is ShahZaM going to still be the IGL? Could Xander come in? Like, so many questions right now. But SicK, of course, was actually streaming yesterday again, and we saw this a while ago, and like when he was streaming a few weeks ago, it seemed like he was kind of confident that he was going to be back in business, or there was some optimism in what he was saying, and then he goes kind of dead silent for a couple of weeks, and he gets back on stream last night. I'll share a couple of clips here from the stream, because I found one in particular where he's talking about the fact that, like, you know, whenever he streams, he feels a lot better, so he should do that more often, and maybe if he does, then, you know, he'll feel a lot better to the point where he could potentially play. But that's the issue really with the LCQ starting in August, that they've got to make a call on whether they have him or not, especially for the boot camp. And still he kind of confirmed, saying no, he's not going to be playing the LCQ. And even at the end, he was kind of frustrated because he sees all the other players scrimming, and I'm sure he wants to get back into it. But right now, I guess he just doesn't feel capable of maybe doing that right, or stepping back into the team. So hopefully everything works out for SicK, of course. But still, it's tough to see him like this, and it's also tough for Sentinels because he's one of their best, if not their best player over the last few months.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Branton, thank you for the 1 month subs and primers. Yep, it has been a minute. What about looking fresh? Thank you, thank you. You guys are funny. Let's go monthly stream. Yep. This is what honestly, I should just stream like 24 hours a day. When I stream, I feel much better. Nick. No LCQ? Yeah, I'm not playing in that. How's the season so far? I mean, not bad actually. I haven't had that bad of games. I don't think I need a duo, but you know, literally no one's playing. Everybody's scrimming. Pain, man. I need to play scrims.
So that is the key issue, right, with SicK not returning with the bootcamp upcoming. They've got to find a fifth they can really stick by, and it seems like they know who it's going to be, and whether it's going to get confirmed or leaked or whatever over the coming days is another question. I'm kind of surprised as of yet that if they are playing with someone in their practices, that it hasn't been leaked, because usually someone notices something in scrims, or like or George Geddes hears something through his sources, or you know, someone notices something and it gets leaked. But as of yet, it hasn't been leaked. Now, some of you guys were actually talking about this in the comments, and I thought it was outrageous, but then again, I was thinking, okay, maybe, but then I think it's still outrageous. But if you guys saw the news yesterday, that the rumor has it that at Stewie2k on the Evil Geniuses CSGO team has been benched. There's been a lot of drama about Stewie2k the last couple of weeks that you guys may well have seen. But the rumor has it that he probably wants to move into Valorant, or at least give Valorant a go. He was talking to Wardell about it, right? And Wardell was saying that everyone in Valorant is brain dead, so like you shouldn't have too hard of a time moving over if you want to, but probably you're just better off streaming. So who knows if Stewie actually wants to come to Valorant full time. If he does, I'm not sure it's going to work out too well for him, because he seems to have this mindset that like, okay, he's a major winner in CSGO, should be easy for him to switch over. If things don't work out for him, it's not his fault. Doesn't seem like he's got the right mindset for success in Valorant, but maybe he will prove me wrong. But of course, if he's potentially available for a move, could Sentinels be considering Stewie2k to Valorant, even though he's like barely ever played it, at least on a professional level? Like, you know, I highly doubt that's going to work out successfully, even if that was the case. But this clip did come out, or that this was noticed, that he was basically saying a couple of days ago he's going to leave. Like, NA will find another face, even though, like, really, Stewie2k, I don't think has been the face of North American CSGO in quite some time. Like, it's certainly been twist, really, the last couple of years. But Stewie probably will try and come into Valorant. Now, look, will Riot even allow him? Let's say Sentinels do want Stewie2k for some reason, and he was to join. Like, would they be allowed to? Because there was this drama recently about Kenny S, who wanted to play Valorant briefly, and Riot didn't allow him because of contract stuff. It's like, maybe it's not even going to be possible, even if this was the case, right? So I think I would, you know, if you guys are kind of hoping that this will be the case, I would definitely temper those expectations, but they're certainly going to need someone to be their fifth. Let's talk Masters then before we close out the video. Matt Lee, who comes out with this, I thought was really interesting last night. The 4 quadrants of Valorant teams: Masters, Masters Copenhagen edition. Here we go on the big screen. Now this, of course, is very skewed by inter-regional performances. Like, well, for example, right here, we can see attack round win percentage and defense round win percentage. Loud are number one by such a margin. They just dominate everyone. Like, the numbers here are ridiculous, that they win like 70% of their rounds, regardless of who they play in that region. Now, North America, Europe, generally more competitive. So instead of looking at the pure numbers, what I prefer to look at really is the difference between the defense round win percentage and the attack round win percentage. OpTic, the best team in the North American side, even though they didn't win the playoffs, they win 60-odd% of their defensive rounds, but only win 48%, 47% of their attacking rounds. So their attack is actually a lot weaker than the defense. It's the same thing for except from North America as well, where their defense is stronger than their attack. But if you look at regions like Korea or of course the Asia Pacific region with PaperX and DRX, like they win more offensive rounds than they do defensive rounds, right? They win 55%, 60% defenses, but on offense they win like 65, 70%, right? So that's definitely an interesting storyline, like how these teams will match up, because a lot of the kind of Asia Pacific teams seem to be stronger on attack than they are on defense, which creates a very interesting stylistic matchups between especially teams like, you know, PaperX or OpTic, when OpTic have the great defense and PaperX have the great offense. Like, you know, could be an exciting match if it happens at some point or another. And this is also just from Will Mider, top 10 rated controllers heading into Masters 2 based on their regions, of course. So yes, this is the thing. SicK from FPX, he's going to be a big loss for that team if he can't get out there. Mako, of course, from DRX, Marved, of course, definitely worthy of note here from OpTic, but many players in a similar boat. Always kind of difficult to read into this to a degree, just because inter-regional stuff is different to when you play worldwide, based on the differing level of competition within each region. But yeah, certainly some great storylines to keep your eyes on as we go forward. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us YouTube God, this is a good video, and I was like you should see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.